Daddy Mac. Dan's 30 years got our way, trading life and markets every day. Rusty's chained to the mines, digging deep day by day. But when Option Omega releases new features, he's free to come out and play. Option Omega, you're trading home, where every move makes you feel less alone.
Greetings. Good morning.
Good morning, Troy. That doesn't look like Chicago in the background.
Live on location from the Foothills Parkway in beautiful Townsend, Pigeon Forge, Wallen, Tennessee.
That is beautiful. A motorcycle driver's.
No, it's many crashes, many such crashes.
We were just talking about, Troy and I were just talking about it's called the Dragon. Is that correct? Where there's a lot of accidents because you get the crotch wrap. People go flying through these. It literally is what? Is that borders?
It's like a 180 turns in 3 miles or something crazy. Is
that like the Tennessee that goes into North Carolina?
That's right. Yeah. Tale of the Dragon, and people love it. As someone who's gotten car sick my whole life, I do not love it. Yeah, I've never been. I mean, to be honest, never been on it because of that. It's just.
Oh yeah.
Don't want anything to do with it.
Worse than a roller coaster.
I like straight roads.
Me too.
I'm a big fan of just straight roads.
Yeah, I like you were just talking. You're going to. Troy mentioned he's going on a test run to Florida, and see, to me, those are beautiful drives. Like Troy was mentioning,
straight.
Yeah, so you mentioned you might get into Fort Lauderdale. You're going to drive from Fort Lauderdale to Key West, and that's right along the water, right?
For the bottom part of it, yeah. The first hour or two, you kind of go through some stuff, but it's pretty. I mean, shout out in the chat if you've ever been to Key West before. It's a pretty drive. Rob, I see you. I'm working on it. It's tough. Rob says, please put the description in so I can watch the show. I don't know what to watch. And say, I'm with you. It's actually more complicated than just putting a description, but that's neither here nor there. We're working on it. We agree with you, and we support anybody's desire to watch the OO show, and we're going to do everything we can.
Everybody's desire to watch the OO show. So we will aid and abet anything.
That's right. That's right. So, I mean, speaking of aiding and abetting, no one's aiding and abetting volatility right now, Dan. I mean,
no, but it's Rob mentioned the word DCs and double calendars, and for mixed month spreads, to me, that's the not that you can't. I mean, credit spreads are working too. When you have small candles, low ATR, and things aren't moving, most things are working, right? As long as your deltas don't get too far out of whack. But in the world of mixed month spreads, especially if you're long volatility, whether it be a single calendar, double diagonal, whatever your flavor, with the volatility here near a lower level, you're comfortable. I mean, because again, when you think in the world of double calendars and you do a 15 or 20 delta, right? Short term, right? 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Your middle is almost underwater or under the sea, right? And so to have a graph like that, I'm more worried about the middle. I'm not worried about the price move as much. And so to me, I want to lean on. Remember Bill Withers? That was my mother's favorite song. Lean on Me, right? Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I love that song. We'll have to have Troy and Matt play that on the guitar one day. Lean on me.
I asked Matt the other day, I said, do you want to do Friday just guitar days? And he said no. And I said, because here's the thing.
He said no.
No, because here's the thing. As soon as we get off the show, Matt will just reach over and grab a guitar and start playing it as we're meeting.
Are you serious?
Does he? Yeah. I say, just do it on the camera.
I would love to get a song, whatever the song of the day is.
Yeah.
I would like to. Lean On Me might be a good one. But I think it's with this volatility, I'm comfortable having so two thoughts come into mind about double calendars. One, diversifying the deltas, right? I mean, right now with the market, I mean, obviously the next 2 weeks there's a lot more catalysts on the board that can move this thing, right? We've got, I mean, not insignificant. Jerome Powell is speaking at 8:30 at a banking conference. Just the fact he's speaking right now, and he has a little war going on with the president, could be something. Yeah. You've got two catalysts tomorrow with Google and Tesla, right? And then that'll be Thursday. That'll come in Thursday morning, and then next week you have the Fed and a whole slew of stuff. So I think if people have deep in their closet the reverse iron condor, it might be time to dust it off a little bit. We might get a little bit of movement even in the doldrums. But I think right now I'm comfortable leaning on, back to Bill Withers, leaning on the VIX of 1673 for mixed month calendars, double diagonals, because I don't, could we go to 14? Sure. I could have my toes could, whatever. I mean, a lot of things can happen, but I'll take that. I mean, this year has been closer to 2022 in some ways. And I just think the vols that's this trade right now. I mean, again, 0-day credit spread stuff, even though the vol's lower, doesn't mean credit spread stuff isn't working or can't work, right? It just means, the only problem with credit spreads when the vol's low is we feel like complaining, right? Because it's like, I'm more comfortable when we're in April and I get 200 points between my short strikes and yeah. But it's also, there's a few things going on. Real quick, Troy, just looked at this. Today or yesterday, we closed at 58.81. 58.81. No,
58.81 in SPX.
58.81 was the close. Troy would like that. 58.81. That was the close of 2024. And today we're at 60, or yesterday we closed at 63.05. So up 424 points for the year. I'm sorry, that was December 31st. 58.81. So we're up 7% for the year, 424 points in SPX. And what a difference X amount of months make when you think about how people feel about life and stuff. April 7th, those are the good days, Troy, for volatility. April 7th, we closed at 50.62, down 819 points for the year, down 16%. So for people in their account, for people like retirement account stuff, today, up 7%. April, 3 months ago, right? A little over 3 months ago, down 16%, right? So it's different. But one last thing. Yesterday, Troy was talking about in the show bad backtests, right? And you were talking about, just as an example, I thought it was a good show on buying a 1 delta call 90 days out. Was that it, Troy? Was I correct on that?
Yep.
The only thing I thought of yesterday after the show, I just thought, when people start with a strategy, whatever it is, you get people, I'll get people, you'll get people, everybody, and say, okay, this is the strategy. This is what I want to do. Sometimes it's good to go backward. Why? How did you come up with this thing? What's the thesis? What are you trying to accomplish? So I was thinking, like yesterday, if someone's buying a 1 delta call, what are you trying to accomplish? Right? What's that? Tell us in the inner workings of the brain cells. What are you thinking? Maybe there's a better way to skin the cat than buying a stinking 1 delta, $150 90-day call. So I think sometimes it's always good to go backwards, because they're usually, put it this way, wouldn't you agree? There are usually better ways to skin the cat, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Like when you were talking hedging the market, people say, well, this is how I want to hedge the market. Does it really hedge your positions? Hedging, what does that mean? So anyways.
No, I agree. I agree completely. Well, speaking of more bad tests, I've got some
another
for
one.
you.
You got another one.
And this one's going to be fun because I want some action from the chat, because I'm going to let you guys be the determiner to this morning of what went wrong with this trade. If anything, maybe this is the perfect trade, but let me do this here. Okay. Can you see this?
Yeah.
All right. This is what I called the perfect trade, Dan. This is a 5 wide Ironfly put on year to date. It's 50. You sell the 50 delta, 30 days out.
I like the 50, 35 million. I'm focusing on that, Troy. It's hard.
Yeah. Hard not to.
Yeah.
It's hard not to. It's a 50 delta Ironfly, 5 wide on each side, 30-day out. Right. And we're not idiots. We're not going to try to sit it and pin it. We are just going to take 5% profit. That's all we're going to do. Dan, is this the perfect trade, as they say? Chat, is this the perfect trade, as they say?
You want it to be. You want to believe. You want to believe.
Life would be a lot easier.
Yeah.
Life would be a lot easier. And if not, chat, as you look at this, what is it that makes you suspicious about this trade, if anything? Castle says full port. Let's go full port real quick. We're only putting 5% of our capital. Let's go full port on this baby.
Oh, you only have 5%. Okay.
I like Castle's right.
Wow.
We were too
Troy,
conservative.
This is the lottery, the world lottery.
we were too conservative. In 30 trades, we became King Griffin.
More than Ken Griffin's at your doorstep begging for money.
King Griffin's begging for some of these trades. Okay, let's play with full port. What else, as you look at this, makes you not immediately automate this in the backtester? What makes you suspicious, if anything? Do 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 do.
The guitar would come in.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Do.
Sajiku, that's right. When Lambo, when is the Lambo coming? I think you own Lamborghini at this point.
With this kind of money, forget.
Yeah, I mean, 30 trades and you forget buying a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
You own Lamborghini. I'll give the chat one more second just to respond, and then we'll kind of jump in a little bit. 0.2. I don't know what that. Oh, average days in trade 0.2. Oh, nice. That's a good one. Good Origami Man. What a name. Good Origami Man. Shout out Good Origami Man. He says average days in trade 0.2 makes him nervous. Why would 0.2 average days in trade make you nervous for a trade like this? That you're in this trade less than 1 day on a 30-day trade. Why would that make you nervous? Dan, if you put a 30-day trade on, as you do sometimes, how would you expect to get out the same day you put it on?
No. Very, very rare. The only way you get out of a 30-day trade within a day or two is if volatility goes your way, because there's more vega involved in that. So if you're doing a 30-day calendar or a 30-day butterfly, the theta is not there to get you the first day of theta is not there to get you your 5%, but the volatility could do it if you pop it. If the volatility goes your way, all the stars align. But no, it would not be. it would not be normal to get 5% in 0.2 unless you were paper trading or something and you had a bad, a bad price or something, right?
Well, so this is why we're doing this week. Is I thought it'd be good. We should do this probably once a quarter, just to remember just some basics of how backtesting works and the limits of it, and how you can get more confidence from it. Because good origami man is exactly right. Like we're playing Clue, he noticed the first, piece of evidence, and he's acting on it. And as Dan said it, when you put on a 30-day trade, do you and say 30 days, do you expect to get 5% profit in the same day you put it on? Every time you put it on?
Well, yeah, but you know what, Troy? On the other hand, I mean, just to put some numbers on here. Sure. So this is probably you're doing a 10 wide or a 5 wide.
5 wide.
5 wide. I mean, to me, this is a small account trade to get used to trading, because you can't really get too hurt. It's a $500 trade. So your margin is $500. So you're really 5%. You're looking for $25. So in a way, I mean, in this situation, if you just got a really good fill, right? If you got a good fill on it, you sold it at $5.10. You know what? If you get a good fill, is there a chance you could get out with a quarter? Now, that's not that much after commissions, but if you sold it for $5.10, could you buy it back at $4.85 at the end of the day? But that's, that's not necessarily from theta. That's just from, I got a good fill, because that's all you're looking at on a $500 a margin. You're looking at a quarter, right?
Well, and that's, I think that's right. That's right, Rob. If Rob, please pick us up on your G2. He's going to automate this, and I'll see you in heaven. Like this is the. I'll see you. But here's the problem. To Dan's point, you maybe there might be a day you get a quarter out of this. You get $25. You're not getting $25 every stinking time you put this on.
No,
like you're just not going to do it. And yet the backtest says you do it. You do it. I'm a 12-year-old boy. Anyway, so why? So what's the deal? I like this test because there's enough kind of ideas in it that you think we all want to be we all kind of want to be talked into trades that we think are unrealistic that actually win a ton. So there's a part of us that looks at this and are I don't know, maybe. I mean, maybe just maybe. And that's why you just have to keep applying realistic metrics to it. And so let's do that now. When I was first learning to trade options, what I would do is I would look at my brokerage and I would just click around, never send orders, obviously, but I would just click around and I would look at the graph a lot. I would spend a lot of time looking at graphs. That's how I learned options, just looking at graphs and then doing some math and stuff like that. And I remember telling Rusty one day, this is probably 2016, 2017. I was like, dude, I think I might have broke the system. I think I might have figured this thing out. And he's like, what is it? And I think it was in Amazon, back when Amazon was $1,000. And I was like, you can just buy a 1 wide, 2 wide, 5 wide, whatever their strike price was, butterfly for $3. And the payoff is $400. I was like, phew. We're going to just crush this thing. And so I like this test because I was susceptible to this when I first started trading options, because you don't quite get some of the it's a nuanced reason it wouldn't work. And so let's look at that a little bit. So we're going to go to it. First off, let's do the low hanging fruit. We need to check profit target 2 times in a row. We need to require 2 consecutive hits of profit target. Why do we need that? Because a 5 wide butterfly is going to bounce. The bid ask is going to bounce all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
You have, and Dan, I mean, is that true? Can you speak to that? Like, why are we asking? Why are we bouncing all over the place?
Well, you're bouncing all over the place because when you think about a 5 wide, whether it be 30 days or 1 day, is that there's some of those options are in the money, right? And the in the money options are going to have a wider bid ask than the at the monies. And that's really what's going to throw off. When you see like on a call butterfly or put butterfly, sometimes the mid price with SPX stable going bananas. Like, how the heck does that happen? Well, it's when you have sometimes those in the money options could be $8 wide. And so when the mid changes, it's like, whoa, it really changed. So that's really where it is in the money options, because you can have a wider bid ask in the pit than you can, just look at the bid ask on at the money options or out of the money put options. They're narrower, right? But you start getting in the money call options or in the money put options, those suckers can get wider. And so that's where I think your craziness in the now I think you'll have less in an iron butterfly like this. You're going to have less craziness with the mid price than you are if you just took these exact same strikes, Troy, and did a call butterfly 3 legs or a put butterfly 3 legs, same trade.
Yeah.
But the mid will go crazy. It will go a little more bonkers on the call and put butterfly because you have in the money options there.
100%.
Here you don't have in the money options. You're selling 2 at the monies, right? And then you're buying 2 out of the monies. So you're going to have tight markets on all those. So I'd expect in an iron butterfly to have less craziness.
Yeah. Let's run it. Rutro, we still own the
Lamborghini dealership
trade? Do we still have a great trade? Now, I beg of you, please, like Willy Wonka, when the little chocolate kid is the little Gustav is in the he's about to get in the water, and basically at Willy Wonka, it's a moral tale because all these kids are terrible, and Willy Wonka's just trying to teach them, like, if you continue to be terrible in your life, you're going to face consequences.
That's right.
So you'll notice that Willy Wonka kind of like is haphazard anytime something terrible happens to a kid and the parents are freaking out. Willy Wonka's like, please stop, don't, because he knows what's going to happen. And so in the same spirit, I say, please stop. Don't trade this. Don't try this at home. Don't put 100% of your portfolio in this trade. I'm not even going to share this trade. I would say this continues to not be a realistic trade. And people say, but you hit 2 profit. It's getting a little bit more realistic. Well, a couple things with this, and then we'll look at it more. So the whole point of this is to say, how do you know if a back test is not trustworthy? One rule we just uncovered a while ago. If it's a longer dated trade, if it's 30 days out and you're getting 5% every time you put it on, and you're in a trade less than a day, be suspect. Don't trust that. Number 2, look through the trade log. Does this inspire confidence? Does this inspire confidence? We're putting 1 lots on, 2 lots on, 1 lot on, 1 lot on, 1 lot on, 9 zillion, 40 billion, zillion contracts on. No,
madness.
That does not inspire confidence, right? Now you can say, why is that happening? The reason is because you're putting on 100% portfolio And so quite often, sometimes you'll miss trade. So there's a sequence risk. So let's address that. Let's try to fix this. Let's do one contract real quick and see what happens with it. Okay, we're still killing it, right? But now at least we can see what happens with one lot. Now we can at least focus a little bit, get sober without all those zeros at the end of our MAR. So let's test this now. So now we've got at least one. It might still be a terrible trade. But anytime you see a bunch of contracts next to one lots, you know, you do one lots followed by a zillion contracts, that should not increase your confidence in a trade. One more thing, and then we'll continue looking at this tomorrow to kind of uncover if this is a good trade or not. Notice when you're going through this that it's stair-stepped, right? Because it's 100% run rate. Like it's completely fine. Let's go back just a little bit more last year. Not go back to SPX dailies there. We're going to save that for tomorrow. You say this, hey, you always tell me, Troy, like increase occurrences to gain validity. Well, I doubled my occurrences, and we're still doing it. I don't know how to communicate this. This is something that I think people get through time, but you just have to do it. When you're backtesting, if everything was math, you could plug in an AI model into options trading and crush it. And yet I have yet to hear someone who just trades trust the AI bot 100% when they're trading. Why? Because there's data can be manipulated and data can be confused with truth quite often. And that's not to say data is not true, but I look at this and someone, if you have 3 people in the community and 2 people are like, I'm going to start trading this. Like, why wouldn't you trade this? My answer would be like, you can trade a one lot and just watch it in real life. Forward test it and see if you get 5% profit target. Because I'm going to tell you, you will not. You are not going to get out seamlessly a 5 wide at the money butterfly for 5% profit every time you put it on. Again, but the data says I do. The data, I'll talk more about it tomorrow. There's an effect that I don't remember what this is, what the name of it is, but basically the idea is if you have a quarter, what are the probabilities that you are going to flip a quarter? You flip a quarter, what are the probabilities that it's head or tails? What's the percentage chance? Anybody got any guesses? For you math nerds out there?
You got Rob here. Come on.
I know. Rob, but that's Rob has to let other people because he knows all this. What's the probability when you flip a quarter? 50-50. 50-50. Rob, you gave the answer. That's perfect. It's 50-50. Now, here's where the data gets fun. People say, got it. I got probabilities now. That's a 50-50 shot. You flip it again, and it's let's say the first time was heads. What's the probability the second time that it's going to be heads or tails? It's going to be 50-50, right? The chat got quiet. Once you start throwing math, Dan, the chat
I'll be
starts
quiet. Yeah.
No, the chat starts. Yeah, I do too. If you flip a coin, it's 50-50. Rob says 50-50 again, right? What happens if it's been tails the first 4 times? What's the probability the 5th time that it's going to be tails? This is riveting TV as I just wait.
See, this is where we need a drum roll or maybe a guitar.
No, I know. So, okay, random walk. It's 50-50. Now, here's the thing. Here's this effect. And I wish I could remember the name of this. there's a funny story that we could talk more about tomorrow. One of my when Rusty and I were developers together in the office, I made someone cuss me out.
You made them? You made them?
Yeah, I mean, more or less, because there it is, the Ludic fallacy. Okay, you can look up the Ludic fallacy.
How do you spell that? What's the word?
Ludic.
Okay, Ludic. Okay.
So here's the thing.
The Ludic.
You go into, so this is what happens. You go into this trade and you look at this and you say, you assume, maybe you should correctly, that each trade has its own probabilities each time you trade this, right? Because that's the quarter thing we're talking about. Every time you flip a quarter, every time you place a trade, there's 50-50 or whatever, there's a chance. But we assume that each time has its own probability. And so thus, you flip a coin 4 times, it's been tails. What's the 5th time? It's 50-50. Like, that doesn't mean anything. What the Ludic fallacy says basically is, if someone made a bet with you and they said they have flipped a coin 99 times, and every time for 99 straight occurrences, it's been tails. And they said, I'd like to make a bet with you for this 100th time. I'm going to flip it. What are you willing to bet that it's going to be tails? Would your decision, based on the probability, be any different at the 99th time than the first time? And some people, this is what's interesting, and this is why probability people sometimes can get really stuck. And that's the Ludic fallacy. At the 99th time, someone might place a bet and say, I'm just going to ride my luck. It's been tails, but they've got no probabilities for it. The other person who knows probabilities is say, I'm going to bet accordingly that it's 50-50, right? Okay. So here's the Ludic fallacy. If something has happened with a 50-50 probability 99 times in a row, does that make sense so far?
Yeah.
Like okay. If you have flipped a coin 99 times in a row, and each of those 99 times there was a 50-50 probability it was going to be heads or tails, but for 99 times straight, it's been tails, right? Here's the problem. You clearly don't have some data that the probability is actually secretly much higher that it's tails than heads. It's not a random walk in this case. Like, what I'm saying is, I agree with the random walk principle, but the idea of like this statistical problem is, if you flip something 99 times and each time there's a 50-50 probability, but for 99 times it has gone straight the one way, exactly. You start thinking, you can play the probability, but now you have to start introducing these other variables, except for you say, is there a weighted coin? Is there some other data set that I'm not seeing that's affecting this trade? And so we were talking to my developer, a friend of our work. I kept doing this thing. I was like, so 99 times, what would you bet me? He's like, I'd bet. I mean, I'm a man of reason. I would bet.
I'm a man of reason.
The
I'm 50-50. A reasonable man, as the mafia would say. I'm a reasonable.
And the premise is to say basically it's like, you have to be able to account that if the later in the data set you get, if something is seemingly not playing to the probabilities, there's something that's happening with the data set that you're not seeing, and you have to adjust accordingly your bet proposition. Yeah. We'll talk more about that. This is one of my favorite things. Honestly, that stuff is why I got into options. It's so interesting to me.
Trey, can I say one quick thing on? So this is a balanced butterfly, right? This is what we're doing. And a balanced butterfly with the Greeks is a little bit short delta, right? And sometimes we'll do a 30-day balanced butterfly, but instead of 5 wide, I might do it 70 wide, right? So you might be leaning a delta and a half. And sometimes when we put it on is one of the instances, and this is, I don't know how you and Rob would look at the numbers on this, but I just look at, okay, if SPX is up 8 days in a row, 9 days in a row, I'm just looking at it and saying, wait. I want something that's going to give me more room to the downside and give me more duration, 30 days, because I still think if we're up, and we've had some of those, right? Up 8 of 10 days, up 9 of 10 days. When and I don't know how the probabilities change there. It's just like, but you can see data, right? How many days has the SPX been up? 8 of 10, 9 of 12, 10 of 30. And I just think if you have enough duration, those usually work out when you're a bit short delta. I'm not saying crazy short delta, but a balanced butterfly, because a balanced butterfly in a lower vol environment is going to be a little bit more short delta. But if you have enough duration, right? If it's 2 days, you don't have enough duration. But I'm just trying to think, bringing it in with the Ludic thing. Would you say, Troy, that it's different when you see the market up 9 days out of 10? How do you look at that probabilities? Maybe getting a little bit short delta or long vega or something.
This is the way I look at it. I would say, to go back to this, let's go to April.
Oh yeah, perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're making money. You're a little bit short delta. Well, I'm sorry. This thing is
April 14th. So to your point, normally I would say in a 10 wide, 15 wide, that's exactly right. This is where I start to say the data, there's something happening in the data that I'm not seeing. And what I'm going to argue, and we'll continue tomorrow, this is a good discussion, is the data is actually revealing that I can't trust the data. And so therefore each decision at that point is the Ludic thing. Like I've seen this has been 100% winner in circumstances it should not have won, and therefore I don't trust it. And here's the example. April 14th. I put this on Monday, April 14th, and I put it on for 5 when the price was 54.44.
Yeah.
And I got a profit target a couple days later.
With the market up dramatically. 100,
almost 200 points up. I got a 5% profit target on an up move on a trade where the shorts are at 54.75.
Yeah, it wouldn't happen in a 30, 40, 50, 70 wide balanced butterfly like this on the upside. You'd get creamed.
Yeah.
And not creamed, I mean, you would lose.
Yeah. And my argument, just again, I could be wrong. People could trade this. And then this is the funny thing of the Ludic. People might take this idea and be like, I think Troy's an idiot. I'm going to trade this. And they might win 60 times in a row. And they'll come back to me and be like, do you know that stupid trade you said was a bad trade?
Yes.
It's a great trade. It's a great trade. And now I'm presented with my own Ludic fallacy where I have to decide, oh, maybe there's something to that. Yeah. But right now I look at this data set and it says, hey, you win every time. Therefore, I have confidence that this is a great trade. And I say, no, hold on. There's something deeper in the data you need to look at. This is winning when it has absolutely no business winning.
Yeah.
And what I would say, there's a lot of nuance to that. But as someone who wrote the Backtester, I would say that actually is a sign in my mind that this type of trade is not one that can be simulated completely next to real life. Where there are other trades that we've seen in Option Omega that, like, it says you're going to get out at this price, it gets out at that price. It says you're going to take a stop here, you take a stop there. Like, it matches the backtest data. Yeah. This is one, I would argue, that doesn't match the backtest. Real life is not going to match the backtest data. And so I can tell, though, this is the beautiful thing about this. I can tell there's some people that in the chat that still want to believe this is a great trade. And so we will discuss and continue tomorrow and look at, because Rob also made a good point to say, wait, what brokerage are you using that has 0%? Are you trading this on Robinhood?
Ooh.
And the answer is I'm not. So we'll add some fees and commissions tomorrow. But this is why this one's a hard one. I went straight to like level 204 because this one is actually, we're going to add all that stuff in and it's still going to look like a good trade.
But one
I'll
thing that Troy, like what you said, is really the thought to leave everybody on is, should you have won with that trade? Should you win when you look at the trade log on a short delta or whatever you want? Should you be winning when we're up 180 points, or should ask the question in reality? Should you be winning? Because I think some people can be. It's easy to get caught up in the world of backtesting, right, or Willy Wonka world, where there's reality is maybe a little bit on the corners.
Yes.
And you bring in, should you be winning on this trade? And I think you answered it. No.
Yeah, and I think there's nuance in the sense of like there are some double calendars that I'm like, I have no idea why it wins. I really don't. Like, it's crazy that if I mapped it out and mathed it out, I don't see it being the winners that it is, and it does. This is a different situation. This is an extreme situation, and this is why I think it's a good one to look at. Is Dan is 100% right. Look at the data. Go through a trade log of a test. If you're getting more and more confident, if you're getting excited about a test, make sure you're applying all the Punisher, and then look at it and be like, does this data match what it should be? Like a neutral strategy that's tiny width, and we're up 200 or 300 points past it, and I got a profit target. That should be a huge red flag for you.
That's Disney World. Yeah.
It's Disney World, but it takes market knowledge. It takes trading knowledge. So, we're trying to we're building real boys and girls. We're building, as my favorite thing to say, I'm a real boy. That's my goal in life. So on that note, we'll continue tomorrow. Matt, I think, is going to be in town tomorrow. So who knows? You might
in
get
the house.
That's right. That's right. So we'll see. We might even put this on live today just to see. But anyway.